Hey, gentlemen, it's Moose.
Well, hey
500
there.
episodes.
How are
Wow, what a
you? Welcome to
milestone.
another
And y'all
fabulous
save me
Chubs
so
Gone
much
Wild.
time. You watch
This
all
is
the TV
episode
shows, so I don't even have to
503,
turn the
recorded
TV
on
on
July
every week.
17th,
I so appreciate
2023,
that.
where it
Keep up
is
the good work,
currently
guys. Bye-bye.
102 outside.
Hello, Chubbies. Happy 500th
Yeah,
Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Let me
See
double
what you want
check.
me
I
to
know it's
do.
going to get to
Hey, good
that.
payment.
Right now, I think it's only still in
Hello,
the
Matthew and
90s.
Tom.
94.
I
It's
wanted to
like a
congratulate you
cool
both
day.
on
Yes, yeah, it
500
kind of is. But
episodes,
yes, you were
500
correct. We
wonderful
expected to
shows
get up to
of Chubs Gone
102 by
Wild.
4
I
p.m.,
don't know
which
if
is better
this
than
is
the
your last show or if you guys are
169
just
that we
taking
got
a break,
yesterday.
but either way, I
Not
wanted
agreeing
you
on
to
what it
both know
actually
how much
was.
I really
But
appreciate
hey, here we
all the
are.
work and thought that you
And
put
I am
into these 500 shows.
so
And I want to
thankful
thank you for
for
creating all
that
the wonderful
new
content
air
that you
conditioning
did
unit that they put in
and you have
last
so
year.
far.
Because let me tell you,
I look forward to
every
seeing
year
what's next for
in
both of you.
this
If this
streak
is
of
the
hot
last
weather,
show,
it was like
if it's just a break, yay for all of
cheeks
us.
clenched,
You
just
guys have been
hoping
a
that it held
constant
out.
source of
Having to do the
inspiration
little
and laughter for me.
manipulation of, okay, it's the
And when I
hottest part
have
of the
trouble
day, gotta
sleeping
turn it
at
off,
night
and
and
just
I'm
sweating
listening
for
to
a
your
couple hours,
podcast,
and
I go right to sleep within 15
it's just
minutes.
been beautiful.
No, that's not to say
Anyway, it is
that
49
you guys put me to
days
sleep. It
until
means
Labor
that I
Day,
find both of your voices very
89 until
relaxing
Canadian
and calming,
Thanksgiving,
which allows me to go to sleep. And if you
106
know
till
my history of
Halloween,
not being
and
able to sleep,
161 until Christmas.
you would know that's a good thing.
Well,
On another
and
note, when I
since
do
it
fall
is
asleep, I get to
106 days of Halloween,
re-download
well,
it
it's time
and
to
listen
start
to where I left
celebrating.
off.
Time to get out
And so
those
each one of your
autumn
shows
decorations, and
lasts me
that's what
about
I
3
You're
do.
already
nights.
late, according to
So that's pretty
QVC.
cool,
They're
huh?
already on
I'm
Christmas in
getting the most
July.
for my mileage.
Yeah, but you gotta see, they
The
have to
biggest buck
start
for the
earlier to
bang.
sell us the thing so that we can put it up now.
So thank you
So,
both very much.
late.
All jokes
It's
aside, I
late.
want to
Anyway,
let
I
you
have
know
been
that
resisting wanting to
I know
watch
how
all the
much it
witchy
takes
shows.
to do what you guys have been doing 500 times.
Don't
And
forget,
I
speaking of our
don't
Halloween
think
contest,
that
which
you get told enough
anyone
how
can
much it
send
is
us
appreciated
anything,
and how much we
an
value
email, a Facebook
everything
message,
that you
or
put into these
comment,
shows.
a voice
Thank you,
message.
thank you so much for
Send
500
us lunchbox
wonderful
pics,
shows.
whatever.
Well,
You will be entered into
there was that
the
one that was
contest.
just,
And
I don't know, you guys must have been
Let me
having an
ask you
off day.
this:
I don't
would
know.
a dick pic
Anyways,
qualify?
love you
well,
both.
yeah, as long as it
Can't
was
wait to see what's
theirs.
next. And if it's just
And
a
if they
break,
just sent someone else's, well,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
stupid.
right.
then
That
have a drink
technically
and lots of
is
sex
against the
while you're on
rules
this
of dick
break.
pics.
That's true.
Love you both.
Yeah, that's too much
Congratulations
right
on
there.
500 shows.
Yeah. Although if I
Oh,
send a
and
dick
this has
pic,
been
you know
Michael
it's not
Sage.
mine.
Well, yes. Although, with all the weight you lost, maybe you can,
I still can't find it, so it's not going to.
stop.
Yeah.
Uh, um, Speaking of dubious intent, which no longer exists, however, we just got contacted to be in the new Pride 48.
The
Uh,
final.
yes, the final Pride 48, which will be September 15th
15th
through
through the 17th.
17th. What?
15th through the 17th.
Yes, of September, and I'm very sad. I'm very sad about it, but at the same time, I understand it's a lot of work to pull something like that off, and the boys in the suits and stuff that do that, I give them a lot of praise for all the
Yeah,
work.
I mean, we give them a lot of credit, but it only goes as far as the listeners and showing up for it, and
Absolutely.
and the podcasts are showing up for it. So it's like, I mean, they do a lot of work behind the scenes, but they get the appreciation when everybody falls into line and participates.
Yeah.
Because it's past years, it's a decline. People just end up waiting for the episode to come on air and don't share the whole weekend, because it's actually quite fun, and it's a great way of hearing new podcasts.
Absolutely. I've actually picked up a couple. In fact, I've ended up finding a WoW guild because of it. So it's expansive and broad-reaching. Yeah, you suck that down. Suck it. Anyway, sorry, you got to watch the video if you want to know what I was talking about. All right. Hey, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators who receive rewards not open to the general public, like a special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage, Francis, Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, Boost P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can join all of our fun projects and keep up to them and everything for as little as $1 a month. And I am about to post on our Patreon writing that I did last night about summer memories from growing up on the ranch from the time up until I was 10 years old. So very interesting to me. I don't know if it'll be interesting to others, but the people that have heard it so far seem to be all like, "Oh my God, that was so cool! I learned so much about your youth." I'm like,
What a great memory. Yes, that's wonderful.
yeah. So, despite what Tom says and
I
thinks,
didn't say anything.
people do like me. At least a couple out there like me.
Yeah, I know there's a couple that do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let me list
there's
them.
more.
Anthony, Fine, Nick, DJ Sausage from the. Okay. Anyway, let's see.
Wait,
here.
those are people that like you? Oh, okay.
Well, like me, at least enough for $1. Nephi just did it because he didn't want to be left out, I think. But yeah, we appreciate his support too. All right. Well, history today, in July 17th, in 1955, Disneyland, Walt Disney's metropolis of nostalgia, fantasy, and futurism, opened. And the $17 million theme park was built on 160 acres of former orange groves in Anaheim, California, and soon brought in staggering profits. Today, Disneyland hosts more than 18 million visitors a year who spend close to $3 billion.
And that's a
just
piece.
for Disneyland.
That's a piece.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Disneyland, and now, I mean, day pass is outrageous. I don't know. It's somewhere in the, I think it's in like the $150 range, or is it up to 200 now? It's ridiculous. And then you to eat in the park, because you can go out of the park and walk to one of the restaurants that's near it, but I mean, it's like walking back to the car from like if you're in a sporting thing and you walk all the way back to the car, and it's in like, oh, fuck this, I'm just going to go home. I'm not going to, I'm not walking back. And so it's like being at a resort hotel out in the middle of nowhere. Everything's great, but you have to eat their food. You have to drink their liquor. You have to, you can't really go out and explore. And that's how Disneyland is. Disneyland California Adventure. They do have the downtown Disney right there, which is kind of in between the two parks, but you're basically eating Disney again. So, I mean, there's other restaurants, but they're in business with Disney, so it's Disney, which is great, but there's just a lot of walking already in the park. And you can only pay for food through an app now, is what I hear.
What?
There's no cash exchange in the food things. It's all apps. Heaven forbid they have a Wi-Fi downfall, huh?
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yes. But it's a very different place than it was when I lived down there in the 80s.
Yep, I went down I went down there when I was about 25, 26, and it was something then. So now it's just like the world.
I mean, it is a fabulous place. It's gorgeous to look at. Every corner, there's a good, you smell popcorn, or you smell cotton candy, or you smell something good cooking and being served. Churros over there, and so it's the senses are on fire with smell and taste and sounds and sights. Yeah, and And then the feel part of your, the where you feel it's sore feet and it's hot. A lot of times it's hot down there, especially during the summer, but they don't care. I mean, not Disney. The patrons don't care. It's like it's Disneyland.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember too, a few things here and there, but one is all the walking and what was the Caribbean, the Pirates of the Caribbean, where you basically were on a very boring ride and then suddenly you dropped off, into it was scary. I didn't see that coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sure,
Well,
they've changed that up to make it not so racist.
Well, yeah, they've cleaned that up.
Yeah.
They no longer have the woman being chased around by a drunk pirate, calling her a winch. Get back here, you winch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, if I had the money, I wouldn't mind going again, but I would have to make sure I could walk around all that far because I think just getting from the parking lot to the front door, I'd be like, I'm done.
yeah, that's it. I mean, seriously, that would be 6 months ago. That would have been it for me. I'd be like, get me the wheelchair at the car if you expect me to be able to be productive at all during this thing.
Right.
And then it's not just that, but then you have to wait in lines. Hour-long lines that move, for a like a 3-minute ride, hour-long rides that you're standing in, and it's usually shaded. Most of the time it's shaded. No, not most of the time, but a lot of times you're in shade, but still it's hot and but then that's the joy of going to an amusement park. It doesn't matter. It could be Dollywood, it could be the Six Flags. It's all wait for that 3-minute ride.
And that's why you have to do it like I did, where we had developmentally disabled patients with us. So we had to skip. They would take us in the back way, and we'd be able to get on the rides. And we did the what do you call it? The Indiana Jones adventure when that was there. That was interesting. It was kind of fun.
That's a chiropractor's dream.
Yeah. I still remember actually this was in Vegas though, when Mr. Clint went on the Star Trek ride, and it was the Borg. When the Borg invaded, it was the big Borg thing. And basically what they would do is when the Borg came on and said, "You will be assimilated, resistance is futile," and then these things would like pop from the chair, like on the sides, and start like hitting you. Yeah, like I mean, they weren't like needles, of course, but they were like you felt like you were being stabbed and assimilated. Well, they also came up from the bottom of the chair, and it just started trying to invade him, what shall we say. He let out quite a holler and leapt up and caused a scene.
Yeah, they had those in the I think it was the Honey I Shrunk the Kids ride as well.
Yeah.
And everybody else seemed to have a problem. I didn't have any problem with anything in
You
the
were
chair.
like, wow, I didn't know this was an adult ride.
I should have worn something different.
Anyway, well, let's look at today's affirmation. Today is, well, let me show you how often I do that one. Here we are. I take excellent care of my body. I am healthy. Shut up. I am healthy, beautiful, and filled with energy. Yeah. We'll just say, wow, that's so accurate, isn't it?
I know. It's like it knows you.
Yeah. And deep breath out. Okay. Well, let's see. Did we accidentally celebrate any holidays today? There's only one way we can find out. Hey, did you hug your kids today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because it's Global Hug Your Kids Day. Get out of the doghouse. Peach ice cream. No, it doesn't sound good to me either. National Tattoo Day. Let's see him. There he is. Hi, Teddy. World Day for International Justice.
Yeah, where's that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen more often.
Yeah, exactly. World Emoji Day. Smiley face. Wrong Way Corrigan. Wrong Way Corrigan Day.
Isn't that a football thing?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I guess you're right. I'm not looking it up. Yeah. Oh, Yellow Pigs Day.
Yellow pig?
Yeah, I didn't know there were yellow pigs.
Oh, that may be my other tattoo.
That's a dirty pig. Oh, Yellow Pig. Yellow Pig Day. In the US, we celebrate the number 17 with Yellow Pig Day on July 17th. Although this might sound like a pork appreciation day, it's actually a day to enjoy the wonders of mathematics and particularly the special properties of the number 17.
Blah.
Why don't you just call it number 17 day?
Well, this is not, that's why it's an emoji day, because on the emojis, when you send the date, like a date for the calendar, it shows July 17th.
Oh,
The one that's in the emojis that's
okay.
yeah, it's July 17th.
Interesting. I never noticed that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was last year or the year before. Somebody had mentioned that, and I went, "Oh, let me look." Oh, they're right.
Huh. That's rare that somebody's right these days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wish some people some happy birthdays. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, it's Lance Navarro's birthday today.
I already wished happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Navarro. And if you want to see more of Mr. Navarro, you can see all of Mr. Navarro. Like so much of Mr. Navarro that you never even thought you'd ever seen before. Well, just jump over to Twitter and look up his name.
Or just go to the gay sex show Twitter page.
Well, yes.
I mean, you can always find him there.
Yes, you can. I
Mostly
retweet
sharing his everything.
is everything. But the most interesting things that I actually think that he does is when he does his tantric orgasmic moments. Have you seen those?
No, I have not.
Where he doesn't touch himself, he just has like he just lays there and builds himself up and builds himself up and suddenly he's going full blast, shall we say.
Well, you've got that new guy that likes to come on screen, so that's always fun. The one where
the one that Forrest?
he pulls off the machine, and then he sits there and you wait, and then blip, blip, blip.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. There's so many. I don't know. I can't keep track of all of the men over there anymore. Anyway, so upcoming birthdays. Happy birthday to Andres, Andrew, and we've got Bradley, Ken. Oh, Patron Charles. Happy birthday, Patron Charles. He likes to go up to the woods, which is a resort where you take off all your clothes with other men and play around.
Yes, I've seen him there.
Yeah.
I mean, not personally.
Really? Oh,
not personally. I've seen pictures of him there.
Yes. So actually, I think it's really cool that he does that. We also have happy birthday to Tim, Matthew, Manuel, Wendy, Mary Locke. Oh, that Mary. She is formerly of the. Oh my gosh, I am not even going to remember that podcast name. I am so sorry. But she had the most wonderful little poodle named Frodo that I made a theme song for. Oh. We also have happy birthday to Todd, to Dawn. Oh, goodness. Oh, yes, I see. July 17th. I never noticed that before. Never.
Well, I'm here to share.
Thank you. Vanessa, Brian, Jared, Taylor. Yes, Taylor. Hello, Taylor. And Bear. Handsome Bear. All right. And that's that for now. So happy birthday, everybody. Want to see your cakes. Oh wait, your birthday cakes. Yes, make sure I specify. All right. Well, what we got in the feedback? That's right, nothing. Oh well. Mm-hmm. Womp womp. Oh, that does spark a memory though. We had you know what? I'll look for that during your week, so we're not holding stuff up here, but see if I can find that. Anyway, but we do have some
No. The
hugs.
one thing I just want to mention that when you say no feedback, no entries in our holiday Halloween fear whatever it is.
Yes, our giveaway contest. Yes.
Yes, no feedback entries. Nobody gets entered, and that's wrong.
That's true.
Especially here on a Halloween kickoff day here.
Oh, I know, and such a fun. I can't even tell you. I already got some of the stuff that's going to go in the package. It's so neat. So, anyway, all right. That up a little bit later, and Chub hugs. Well, we do have some Chub hugs we want to send out. One of them we want to send out to that sweet Tessa, Mr. Moose's Tessa. We hope that.
I hope we hear something soon.
Yeah.
In a couple days. So.
Yeah. So I hope that she is doing well. And there's a gift that just keeps giving. We've got so many people that have pets that are going through rough times and things. It just
our dear friend Jason lost one of his Cocker Spaniels yesterday.
That's true.
And
it's been coming for a while, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, he's got a bunch of old, pups, and they're all getting to that age, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, and that sucks. I remember our friend Heather. She had 6 cats. A mother that, when she was a year old, had 4 kittens, and she kept all 4 of the kittens and the mother, and then they were all within a year of each other, and they all passed within like a year, or like a year and 6 months. And it's like, it's just so hard. But you imagine that many. That's awful. So anyway, what else we got? Chub hugs. There's so many people that need them. I can't even tell you. So
send a mass one out.
Yes, just a chub hug to everybody. All right. And moving into celebrity news, well, trans model and that's a note from you, I believe. So I'll let you take that one.
Oh, just a second. Let's see. Well, you were supposed to read it because it was about I corrected myself like you had done.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Okay, go ahead.
So transgender model and actor Ricky Valley Cole was crowned Miss Netherlands and will go on to compete for Miss Universe. She has not won Miss Universe like Tom misspoke last week, but she is very close.
He was very close.
He was very close. He was very close. Oh, you were very close. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, well, that's cool. I don't know that person, so I have to look her up. Dolly Parton says she would rather drop dead on stage than opt for retirement. The 77-year-old country star said so while on the Greatest Hits radio show. 77. She's another one. She and Cher and Barbara and
Barry and let's see, the Paul McCartney. They're all hitting that 80 mark right now. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are already in their 80s.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly soon.
I mean, talk about some of the biggest icons of gay icons. I mean, our community is just going to be devastated. Anyway, Jason Aldean was rushed off stage after experiencing heat stroke during a Connecticut concert. Aldine, probably pronouncing that wrong,
No,
was forced. What's that?
You're right.
Oh, okay. Was forced to stop the concert midway through, postponing his Connecticut tour stop for a later date. That sucks. Okay. Celebrity deaths. VH1's The X Life star Denise Russo died from accidental overdose. Russo died from toxic effects of fentanyl and methamphetamine. Jane Birkin, singer and inspiration behind the Hermes Hermes bag, Hermes Birkin bag, died at 76. The French icon, best known for her song Je t'aimais mon bleu, died on Sunday.
That was perfect, by the way. Perfect.
But it was close. Anyway, Andrea Evans, the soap star, best known for portraying troubled teenager Tina Lord on One Life to Live, died July 9th at 66, which I remember watching her, although I'll tell you, she was a troubled teenager. I barely remember that. But we watched One Life to Live, and I remember actually really liking her character and wanting her not to be such a bad girl. But, you know, back then I just wanted everybody to get along, but she was always so bad. But she turned out to be, what's her name, sister, the blonde woman, who was like the lead woman in that, or like ever. I don't.
You're talking to somebody who's never watched One Life to Live.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, for those that did, yeah, Tina Lord. It's very sad. She was a fun character. But you know, the Denise Russo that died of the fentanyl and methamphetamine mented. Yeah. I'm looking at this thinking that it's spelled wrong because, but anyway, point being, there was another death that happened recently. Actually, there were two other celebrity deaths that happened recently that were that they said was a result of fentanyl. And I hate that, not only because it happened, but also because every time I hear another fentanyl death, all I can hear is the Republicans going, aha! We don't have to worry about, you know, things we really should worry about, but let's do this.
Well, remember when I was telling you, it was either last week or the week before, that I heard on some show that they were, you know, that the reason why the conservatives were bad-mouthing the whole COVID vaccine was because they wanted to make sure that a large group of people who normally don't like vaccines anyway would avoid the vaccine and ultimately die, because that's their goal, is to have those people die.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They went after it goes after the old elderly and the
people of color, BIPOC
people of
people.
color. Okay, that's how we'll yes. And
I'm not going to say colored people like that jackass in the Senate or whatever the other day. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's testifying about you know, the same old, you know, wokeness and or all this stuff in the military, and he actually said colored people, and thankfully one of the black women people stood up and said Mr. blah blah blah, and then had it stricken from the, you know, from the.
Oh, they shouldn't have struck it. They should keep it
left
in there.
it in and showed what a
Right.
fucking racist asshole he is. Because,
well, you know
if
what
that
she
slips
should
out of your mouth, you're saying that shit in private too.
She should have thrown her shoe at him. I find that's very effective. Of course, that's all they need is crazy black woman freaks out in Congress. You know,
Yep.
I know it's a no win on that one, but
like,
boy, it would have been funny.
Do you know that one of the things that is a real bad no-no is calling a black person uppity?
Yes.
I, I heard that the other day, and it's like I never thought about it. I would never, because it not in my vernacular. But then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, that's really interesting. And now I've noticed it. I've noticed people doing that, and I was just like, oh hell no.
I think I was one that told you about
You
it
probably
originally.
you may
Yeah,
very well have been, yeah.
because it's like, I mean, it was always like around, when I was a kid, that was a no-no, and that was in the 60s and the 70s. That was not something
Wow.
we referred to,
See, I'd
but,
never heard of
but
it.
you hear it in old movies,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's true.
and it was like, it's like, you're not supposed to say those kind of things. Okay, I'm not. But yeah, it's amazing what comes out of some of these people's mouths nowadays.
And they're just not the slightest bit ashamed.
No, no, because they still think that certain people in this country are only 5/8 human.
Yeah. That,
I know. It makes my skin crawl
mm-hmm.
to think that that was actually thrown around as a thing. Just yeah. Okay, moving on. Move
Yeah.
from this. It's
Yeah,
just too much.
definitely. Okay, so actually now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Oh, there's so much. First of all, anybody that is questioning why the actors and the writers are on strike needs to watch episode 1 of Black Mirror, the new season. It's all about AI and what the effects of AI can do and could be. I mean, if you watch it, you're going to be like going, okay, this was made 2 years ago. Boy, did they time this well. I mean, you look at it because they do say that you go watch an old episode of Black Mirror and you're going to find something that's critical today in today's lives, like the one where the woman was so freaked out on her lack of likes
Mm-hmm.
that it destroyed her life. So yes, it's Black Mirror is amazing. The new episode, or the first episode of the new season, very much tells why AI is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
especially dangerous considering that AI will be controlled by the producers and the studio heads, and and once they've signed you up, they can do whatever they want with your shit. Even Tom Hanks was saying, I could be dead for years and still be making movies. He made it sound like a good thing. I'm wondering if he was just commenting and it wasn't like supporting of the AI situation.
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly.
it's all freaking me out right now.
Well,
I mean, right now, you and I could be, they could turn us into AIs
at least I would be able to read better.
well, because they've got 502 episodes that they can look at and pull from our voices, pull from our mannerisms, and do whatever they want with us. Yeah.
Whoopi actually made a comment about when she's dead, she doesn't want to be an AI. She doesn't want to have that technology,
I mean, we thought it was really fun when remember it was Fred Astaire was dancing with the broom in that one. Wow, that's neat. But he's rolling in his fucking grave.
Right. Well, I've actually been using AI a bit recently in like spell and grammar checking certain things, and actually working with it to newsletters, writing blurbs for newsletters so that I can free up some time to do other things. And it is interesting, but it is also scary interesting just how well it does. So anyway, moving on.
I'm on my first week, or my second week now of no cable.
Ooh.
And I've experienced really no problem. The only problem I have is MSNBC. You can only get MSNBC in streaming or, in streaming if you are associated with a cable service.
Uh-huh.
And when I said, I sent them a letter going, okay, what is this? And they go, well, we can't do full hour live programming. It's just something we're not ready for. And it's like, fucking Channel 3 here in Sacramento on my Peacock, I get live broadcasts. Paramount Plus, CBS locally, live broadcast. All I'm saying is just have a channel that shows, MSNBC live with commercials. I'll watch your fucking commercials. But that was the only thing. Otherwise, I haven't really noticed a difference except for the DVR, which, but then that means I have to watch QVC and the news at the time the QVC and the news are on.
Right.
Which that's just a practice, remembering what times are on and what I want to see. If I want to watch In the Kitchen with David, I have to be there 9:00 on Sunday morning or 5:00 on Wednesdays afternoons. So, but that's easy enough. And so it's been good. It's all been good.
You can watch a lot of the MSNBC shows on YouTube, right?
Yeah, but I just want to watch a live broadcast.
Gotcha.
And because I like watching the local news, which gives me, there's traffic on 50 and there's some there was some kid that was run over in a walkway in Roseville, and this is the weather. This is what Trump said this week. This is what DeSantis is saying now. They don't talk about that on the local news. Right. Only on these separate services. Because even if you watch the nightly news on NBC, which I can on Peacock, because they have a live broadcast, fuckers. I'm not going to get that kind of, that kind of pointed reporting. I'm going to get a general outlook of what's going on in the world. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Okay, let's see. Oh, Glamorous. Really enjoying Glamorous. Have you even started it yet?
I haven't started yet, but I'm hearing. This doesn't matter, but I'm hearing so many people with mixed reviews, and it just goes right back to gays shit all over everything gay. It's just annoying the hell out of me. But yes, I will be watching it.
Yes, and it's the one episode they did a lip sync. They're stuck in P-Town in a rainstorm in a house, that they're all sharing. So they decided to do a musical number from Chicago, and it's hilarious.
Nice.
And way fun. Good times. Let's see. On The Bear, we finished The Bear season 2. Because they dropped it all at one time. I thought that was to get Emmy consideration, but that wasn't what they did it for. I don't know why they did it. What was interesting was, remember I was telling you about the Christmas episode with Jamie Lee Curtis, and she was like on fire as an actress. I mean, as well, an actor, she was incredible, and it was like the role to have. I mean, seriously, out of this whole show, she's only in 2 episodes, and she kills in both. Not literally, but figuratively, she kills. Fantastic. So when the Emmy nominations came out, all I kept hearing, usually you hear like someone going, I am so upset that, Bowen Yang didn't get nominated for Saturday Night Live. Okay, whatever. This year it was Jamie Lee Curtis didn't get a nomination. I'm burning Hollywood down. And it's like, I kept going, I'm pretty sure that because the first season came out after the Emmys last year. So this year, the second season probably doesn't count because the first season's up for contention. And that's exactly what it was. You can't run 2 seasons in the same Emmy time period.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's like House Survivor and and some of the other things have multiple seasons. Well, they can only enter 1. So, and that makes sense. I mean, you don't want them to go, okay, well, up for, see, RuPaul's Drag Race and RuPaul's All-Stars can be a different show, but you really can't say, oh, we had RuPaul's Drag Race and RuPaul's Drag Race are both nominated for, and it's like, what? Huh? That is what? So I get it, and that's fine. But Jamie Lee Curtis will be up for contention next season, but of course it's going to be a year later, so it might as well not even
Yeah.
have happened. But it's good to know that everyone loves her so much in this. And what I'm loving is that she's in her early 60s, like other people we know,
Mm,
and she's having the best time of her life.
yes.
You know, she's that's, to me, that says a lot, and we're seeing that a lot with a lot of actors. But I'm so happy for her because I've been watching her, as you have, since the 70s,
Oh yeah.
from Halloween on, and she's always been a very big fan and supporter of the gay and lesbian community. So
And she is also a really big WoW player.
okay.
Yeah.
It just goes on. I did finish Secrets of Sulphur Springs. Oh, you're gone.
Keep going.
Secrets of Sulphur Springs season 3, and so I thought, okay, they're not going to carry this on anymore. They can't, but they are. They're carrying it on through. It looks like a fourth season. I'm frozen. I'm hoping I'm still going on, but I'm frozen.
Well, I can still hear you.
Oh, good. If you can hear me, that's all that matters. There we go.
Oh, everyone, Tom's shirtless now. Oh,
It was just too warm with that tank top on.
oh yes, now it's just burning up.
Okay. Well, I figured, I spent all last summer shirtless, at
Mhm.
least shirtless. We don't know if it's more than that.
Yeah.
And you won't find out. Anyway, but they ended season 3 of Sulphur Springs with another cliffhanger. And I'm like, okay,
Wow.
let's see what happens. And we'll see if it does show up. The Great Food Truck Race, they're down to the last 3 food trucks. On last night's episode, they got rid of the ball guy. It's a Hawaiian group, and the main guy that heads up the truck is bald, so they're the bald guys.
Okay.
Bald guy. And they do traditional Hawaiian food, katsu, and all the yummy Hawaiian, pulled pork, the whole thing. So and it was weird because they got sent off, they got sent home, and the rest of the crews were like crying, like, oh my God, because they were, I think they were literally expected to win from day one. So and they were super nice people, and that was that. So let's see, Righteous Gemstones, which is on Max. Still a fun show. It's John Goodman heads up a religious family, that's like Tammy Faye Baker, the Baker's religious family, not just the Connors religious. This is these guys are, they head up a church and they steal money from everybody because that's what they do. That's how they make their money. But right now, the whole group of them are just a mess. All the kids are a mess, and John Goodman's like, why can't I find any fucking people to head this church? Am I going to have to do it until the day I drop? Which, yeah, I think he's going to have to. Let's see, Claim to Fame. So finished first season, and the last 3 people that were relatives, they were relatives of Kiki Palmer, Dean Martin, and Jason D'Elia. Who I hear had he had a heat exposure problem during a concert just this week. Yeah. So
great.
But the second season started, and the first 3 people that we found out, not all of them are gone, but the relatives we know are relatives of, are Tom Hanks, Eddie Murphy, and Neil deGrasse
Tyson.
Yes.
Nice.
And so it's like, wow, I mean, that's a Oscar winner, an Emmy, Grammy winner, and I think Tyson got the not a Pulitzer, a Nobel or something for science. So I mean, we got some major players here, not like Kiki Palmer and Jason D'Elia and Dean Martin, who's been dead forever.
Right.
So But anyway, it was, and it's funny because the first person that got sent home was the Tom Hanks person, a niece of Tom Hanks, and she was usually, on these shows where they go, okay, well, I'm just so glad that I got this chance to be on the show. Well, she was like, she kind of cried and she was like very upset. And then as she's leaving, she starts yelling while they're still filming. And she's like yelling, "Oh, great!" Because they have this board with clues on it of people that are the relatives of the people that are in the house. So they had a little green bench, and everyone immediately goes, "Okay, that's Forrest Gump," right? And so giving away that Tom Hanks's relative might be in the house. And so what happened was she's like going, and then they have a fucking green bench just right out of Forrest Gump. And even, Quentin, who's dumb as fuck, knows that's Forrest fucking Gump. So I'm out of here on day one because these idiots don't know how to do it. And they're all kind of sitting, waiting, going, are we supposed to react? Are we still filming? But they kept filming to get the reactions of these poor people sitting there waiting to find out what tomorrow's holding for them while this person's screaming their head off. It was hilarious. So episode 2 is worth it just to watch the closing credits. Let's see. Big Brother. Oh, that's right. Boy, I'll tell you, they're going to have another Big Brother out this later in the season. I guarantee you, because the writers are out, the actors are out. So that means CBS, well, all the networks are going to have to find something to fill time with new product.
Well, yeah, but aren't all the people in the show actors?
Right. But no, they're not considered actors. But that's game shows. That is it. Well, I think they can still do game shows. I think that's different writing, but these reality shows, all that stuff doesn't fall into line with the writers or actors.
Wow.
And boy, to have I've got this idea for a reality show. We'll do it. That's what they're going to do right now in Hollywood. So, let's see. I saw The Fableman this week, over on Paramount Plus, and it is the Steven Spielberg Best Picture nominee that was up this last year, up against everything, everybody, always, everywhere, and honestly, them not picking it surprises me for Best Picture because it's about the early days of Steven Spielberg's Hollywood, which meant that we're talking during the 60s and what Hollywood was and who he got to, I mean, they only took him up through like 18, 19 years old. But it was all about filmmaking and what inspired one of the great directors of all times to make the films that he did. And then they picked Crazy Everything You've Always Wanted to Know About, Everywhere and Always. So it's a surprise to me because it just seems like Hollywood's not awarding Hollywood, and that seemed weird. But it was a really good movie, and there's a whole other storyline that I did not see coming, and that was very interesting that he would be putting that into a movie about his life. So one of those things I'd hide. Let's see, Emmys, the nominations came out. It was Succession again was a big nominee. That horrible The Last of Us was up for a lot of nominations. Yeah, and then there was for comedy, it was Ted Lasso, The Bear, and The Marvelous Miss Maisel. So those are the big nominees in that category. We'll see what happens. And we'll see if they have an Emmys. And if they do, is it going to be like the Emmys they had back during, I think it was the 70s or 80s, where none of the actors showed up for it?
Oh, wow.
So they just announced who won basically over, they showed clips and they said, and the winner is, because that's the year Roseanne won for Best Actress. That's the year, what was his name? The guy won for playing, shit. I can see him, and I remember the movie very well. It doesn't matter. Jim Jones, the Jim Jones movie, that the guy who started one because he was phenomenal, and he actually showed up and picked up his award. He's like, fuck this. I'm not acting. I'm not writing. I'm picking up an award for something I already have done. Thank you.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I saw Mateo. I've been, since you brought up Mateo Lane and Brian brought up Mateo Lane,
Oh.
and I watched his special. I thought, well, let me see some of his other stuff. So I
Right.
watched him make Italian food, and that was boring.
Mhm.
But then there was one episode, one little tidbit on YouTube where he brings up his friend Nick. And I'll tell you, Nick is far funnier than Mateo is. And so much for that he had Mateo doubling over in laughter.
Uh-huh.
And I know he's heard the story before. He was talking about how Nick has trouble on roller coasters. And so much that he gets on the roller coaster and he's the guy that basically passes out until the end of the ride. So his eyes are closed and he's just being thrown around. It's like the woman that gets the bird in her face. Basically, and it was very funny. And I'm thinking, wow, too bad Mateo isn't this funny. And
see, I really think
oh,
he's
you think
funny,
he's
but
cute, and with that, you're giving him a
I
break
think
to be
he's
funny.
thin, but I do think he's really funny. He's one of the few that can actually make me laugh.
Okay. I did see Ari Spears this weekend at the Punchline.
Oh,
And it's weird because I enjoyed it, but it was he crossed a lot of lines. To the point of where it got uncomfortable sometimes, and everyone's laughing, including the people he was making fun of. But I loved it when he was asking a gay guy if he goes, oh, now sir, who are you here with? And he goes, oh, I'm here with my fiance. Oh, okay, all right, well, I'm glad you guys are here. I hope you're having a good time. He kind of backed off, which I thought was interesting because he had no problem doing tiny eye jokes to an Asian girl in the audience.
wow.
I mean, immediately it's just to me it's just a lazy, cheap joke.
Yeah.
So, but and then I was thinking about it, and all he kept doing, he was terrible to women during the show. All he talked about was their pussies. And then he goes, yeah, and I even have them braided. I like black woman's pussy best, and then it's Mexican, and then it's white. But I see this Asian girl over here. I'm thinking she might be moving up the ladder, and I'm like, ew, this isn't. Yeah, and maybe if it was Mateo Lane and he's talking about dicks, it might be funny. Maybe, I don't know.
I think it plays better to a straight audience.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not sure how it made me feel. I mean, I laughed a lot during the show. And of course, they always preface this. And this is what a lot of them are doing nowadays. And when I say them, I mean comedians, not black men. But comedians are going over saying, you got to have a sense of humor about things. Just laugh. If it makes you laugh, laugh. Don't get upset because he did some transgender jokes. He did handicap jokes. And so, it's like, I don't know. Yeah. So,
I mean, I kind of agree, but at the same time,
there's still got to be
there's some things that's just like, dude, seriously, come on.
Yeah, don't even, it's much easier to go after, if you want, go after the gay guys or the fat people, because that's still acceptable in an audience. But,
but yes.
Yeah. Right. So, and then I did watch Is It Cake too, because you told me to.
Yes.
And
I know it's not anything you have to use brain power for, but it was just kind of fun.
It's Mikey Day. He's just trying too hard, and you feel you're exhausted at the end of the show.
Yes, I agree with you.
And so, I mean, if I need to kill time, I'll continue to watch it. But
and that's the sad thing too, is that until episode 3, it didn't actually get interesting. Before that, it was like, I'm glad I'm watching this on 1.5 speed. And then all of a sudden, they got like interesting hosts and interesting things to do. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I've only watched episode 1, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about things that we watched not together, but as well. RuPaul's Drag Race. This is where they brought back the losers to pick a winner.
Right.
And so Candy and Jimbo were the hosts of the show that the people were coming out, and they're doing a number to impress the judges. Whoever impresses that gets to spin the wheel to double, triple, or quadruple their fan votes. So the people that have been out online, and I'll tell you that what's her the one that won.
Oh.
What's her name? It's James Manfield.
Oh, okay.
She has been all over Twitter. Now, I'm not following her, but I'm seeing her constantly because, it's usually connected to Rue, or it's connected to the show or something who I am following, so it'll pop up. So I've seen a lot from her where I haven't seen a lot from anybody else but Jimbo and Candy. Those are the two that I see most of. And then it was James. So I'm wondering, because James did win the spin to double her fan votes. So we'll see what happens. But I still think La Rue is going to win.
Yeah, I think so too. And of course, she got triple.
Right, but if she's not doing the same amount of social media as the other girls, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And what I keep seeing online, and it's not from the girl, is Jessica Wilde is getting a lot of touts from fans.
Yes,
I'm not seeing anything from her.
Getting more and more stuff. But I will say too, the one thing that was so disappointing about that episode was when Rue opened the library so that they could all like read each other, which is usually one of my favorite parts of the season. Oh my God, most of those girls couldn't read for filth. They were either like so mean that it was like, that wasn't a read, that was just mean. And then, or they were so bad. I mean, I'm like, girl, you are queen. Step it up. What the hell? Yeah. And that's one thing I'll say about Candy is she can read. She's really good at it. So
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I was happy with the winners and everything, but I was expecting the end of the show, so it was like, oh, it's the penultimate. Okay, we'll go with that. But it was nice to see him back. Next up, we watched Bachelorette, and this was the singing competition where the ones that were on the group date all had to write songs and get up there and perform them. And different Barbie, that's right, they were dressed up as different Kens from the Barbie movie.
Right.
And they all had to get up there and sing for Charity's Love. And the surfer-ish kind of dude with the longer blonde hair, not the cowboy one, and I liked him. I mean,
well, he's cute, but he's terrible.
Yeah, oh yeah, but he knew how, and that's the thing, is he knew how to work the crowd, where the others, I guess, kind of didn't. But
he couldn't sing, but he could work the crowd.
Yeah, and I think that and he took his shirt off too, which I think was a big help. Yeah, well, just like you do, that's your work in the crowd. But again, the whole focus of the show was more Braden drama and the tattletale guy, who I liked until he started. This is another show where he just, and here's what Braden did, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I think you're a little too obsessed with Braden.
Well, yeah, and I love how the fact that the rest of the guys are like, we can deal with Braden's bullshit, and his ego, but Aaron, we can't deal with a tattletale.
Right.
Tattletale. And he's and the thing is, he goes up to her, and Aaron does, up to Charity, and and says, "Oh, he says this, and he says that, and he says this, and he says that,
Mhm.
and he's telling us all this." And she's like, "Oh," and then he sits down. Braden sits down with her and goes, "I said this to you.
Right.
I'm not saying anything that I haven't said to you." And
After she has a big meltdown.
yeah, and then she's all of a sudden she's upset, and I'm like, if you want to be upset at Aaron because he's the one stirring the shit.
Right. And you're the one just buying it
Instigators,
all.
instigators are much worse than the idiots that are in the crowd
Yeah.
because they
true.
just work. They try to work up everybody, and
Yeah.
I hate it. And so, yeah, I was upset at that because I love their trip to the stadium down in San Jose, get out there on the
Oh
field.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a really nice date. They had a really good time, and you know, Brandon's problem is that he talks about it afterwards. What a great time he had, and
Mhm.
that's just it's like nobody wants to hear about your good time when I'm sitting at home with a bunch of hot guys. Wait, no, that would be
Oh
me.
yeah.
I don't want to hear about you, what you're doing with my girlfriend.
Right, exactly. And I get that. So he's just stirring the pot, but every time he's on screen, it seems like he's got another pair of earrings on.
Oh my God, they get so bad at
Well,
times. There's just
yeah.
awful.
It's like I don't want to knock it, but at the same time, it's so like, dude, it's not flattering at all. Anyway. All right, moving on from there. Secret, because I certainly wore my share back in the day before I knew you. Okay, Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Um,
I
I
am I'm so torn because I'm liking the show. I love the characters, and I don't know. Here's a spoiler, a little bit of a spoiler alert, I guess. Once again, another episode and another really good character just killed. For
well, remember,
what?
well, because they're probably dead in the future, and they've made reference to it in a later show, not in this show, but in
Oh, okay.
a Marvel thing, and so they have to kill off people that we know get killed off.
See, because I thought this was like current day,
Well,
but
no, it's not at all.
oh,
It's
okay.
I mean, no. This is back when the aliens were first coming down to Earth. This was before what was it? It was
Well,
Avengers, the one where they broke through and they were trying to come down and destroy Earth, the aliens.
hmm. I don't know. I don't. I thought it was like because I a part of it when he's younger is back when they first got here, but then the ones now where he's not wearing his eye patch anymore, I thought were like current time.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen this week's episode, so they may be punching
Okay,
the current
so
episode.
yeah,
As I
so
told you, I find that it's one of those shows where I've got to binge or I'm losing interest.
see, yes, yeah, I get that. But yes, and I will just say that another main character was killed off, and I it was my favorite character actually on the show, other than probably Fury himself. But so moving on, those are I think those are the only ones we're watching together right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I did
oh
want to mention I did finish Deadlock.
oh yeah
And you're right, it's a very satisfying ending.
yeah
Even if it doesn't go on to a season two, it ended fun and having a good time. And but the thing that bothered me was when they're racing after the killer
mhm,
and the killer gets washed away in the river. That's not going to spoil it for anybody because I'm not
yeah
saying who it was.
right
But then they go down under the waterfall and they find them on a stalagmite that's in the middle of nowhere.
yeah exactly. I was
That's
like, really? Oh, where'd that come from? And boy, that's a long way from that
from the
waterfall.
drip of the water just
Yeah,
form. I mean, there must be a tree over it or something.
yeah,
And he fell instead of falling down, they fell diagonal. So
right.
that too. But still, it was a fun show, and by the end, I was really liking all the characters, and
Yeah.
we got all their problems out, and yeah. And it wasn't her girlfriend that I thought it was.
See, that's what there was a point where I thought that too. I was like, okay, but she was such an easy red herring too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The girlfriend just drove me a little bit nuts. I'm like, this is a good reason to be single. Anyway. All right. I watched John Wick 4 this week, and I was told that it was just new fantastical ways that they were found to kill people, and that it was so bloody and such a big death count. And I didn't I what was it? Indiana Jones seemed bloodier than this. Not the kill count, because the kill count was just insane. I'm like, they must have like, cleaners that just come like follow them around and
Well,
clean up
it's
all
like
the
the
bodies.
Avengers. Who picks up after they're done with New York?
Yeah,
Somebody's got to. And how many people were killed?
yeah.
Right, but
Hundreds and hundreds.
yeah, and then John Wick, it's like I think they probably instead of like characters, they just assign death certificates. Okay, your death certificate is number 4. Okay, you're number 5. You're number 6. Because they don't need to have names.
Right.
Victim, John Wick, victim 4.
Yes. Yeah, no,
So-
you're absolutely right. But it was fun. I mean, but I didn't see all the new innovative ways, blah blah blah. It just was a good John Wick movie where they ramped up the body count to a point where you're just like, seriously? Like,
Yeah, it wasn't that much more than 3.
well,
3
yeah.
was a lot as well.
So, but I liked it. I liked the characters in it, and it was good. The whole, and I saw that end coming though. I'm like, yeah, I knew that was the way it was going to end. But
There's a number 5.
I'm not surprised, and I will watch that as well. It
But
seems
I
like
don't understand that with the ending.
oh, I know, but it's always got to be that, and this is how he got sucked back in, or one of his, nemesis who just couldn't let it go, and that
Okay.
type of thing. But yeah, and it must be an easy script to write, because it's like he mumbles something here and then kills 100 people. It's like a 5-page script. So anyway,
Yeah, the only person really getting a lot of work is the choreographer.
yes,
Choreographer.
I
They're
can
the
see that.
ones. They're the ones doing all the work.
Yeah,
Because John Wick kind of walks a line, and then they come and he kills them, and he kills them, and he kills them, and he kills them, and
yeah.
okay, and then he moves on to the next room. So
Right. Oh, and the battle on the stairs, I actually thought was really well done. Um, so and speaking of that, I watched a 10-minute doco piece on YouTube about the new Mission Impossible, which focused on Tom Cruise doing his own stunts and how they set it up, how long it took to design and figure it out and set it up. And they actually created like drones with cameras that were specifically designed to capture shots in this film. It was really interesting, and I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but I will say that watching this like actually made me want to watch the movie. And I'm not a huge Mission Impossible person either. It's like I can watch it in the background and be like, oh, that was neat. I want to see this one.
you mean
So,
part 1?
hmm?
Part 1.
Part 1 of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, this is a part 1 of a 2-film series.
Oh yes, I noticed that. Actually, I noticed that. I guess at the end they were like, and part 2 it comes out and blah blah. I was like, really? You couldn't squeeze it all into one movie?
Well,
Damn.
and this one's, I haven't looked yet. I'm going to look right now. You keep talking. I'm going
Okay.
to find out how long Mission Impossible is as a film.
I hope it's not like a 3-hour one.
Oh, I guarantee you it's somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours, because that's everything nowadays. Everything's 2.5, 3 hours except for Disney movies.
Well, okay. And then I went over and I watched And Just Like That, which I think this was just the latest episode that I watched. Because I binged like the first four. So, and then this one, and it's just such a good series. It's one of those like you watch it and you enjoy it and you feel good and you feel like you actually watched like a full, good, interesting show, which I want, which I wish I felt more like when I'm watching like Marvel's Secret Invasion. It's like I'm liking the show, but it's still not. It's like I'm watching it so that I make sure that I'm up on all the Marvel timelines. To whereas the to whereas with this, it's like I watch it and I'm like, and now I feel a little happy. Yay. So if you, even if you're not like a huge Sex and the City fan, especially this season of And Just Like That is so good. All right, did you find what you were looking for?
2:43.
Ah,
So 2 hours and 43 minutes.
okay. Take off 19 minutes for credits.
But you have to add in a half hour for trailers at the beginning.
Yeah, true.
Because we saw Indiana Jones. It was 2.5 hours long, and it took us 3 hours from the beginning of the movie until the beginning of the when the lights went down till the end of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. So, let's see. I watched. I kept forgetting some of the other stuff that I wanted to watch, so I ended up watching Hell's Kitchen season 21.
Now that's not a new one, is it?
Yeah, well, I don't. It's the latest one, and it's the one that I haven't seen. I don't know if it's like new, but
It's not.
it's all out and released, so it's you know. So I just this one's not, I mean, Hell's Kitchen for me is one of those shows that I just love to watch. It just makes me feel like the same way that like the hoarding shows do. It's just like it hits something in me that makes me I watched the show and it was good. This one ain't doing it. And I'm not liking any of the people there. I'm not seeing any one of them except maybe one guy take it seriously at all. I'm trying to figure out the ones that are like the serious contestants that you're like, okay, they know that these guys are going to be the ones that go through. These guys are probably the actors because they're so fucking obnoxious and weird that how could they be a real person? But how it's just it's like they just threw a bunch of weird people together and said, okay, let's make something out of this. So, oh, and I think they must have run out of celebrities to come by because they've had a guy from Skid Row, one of the guitarists or something from Skid Row on there. And then another one from, oh gosh, what was the other? I don't know, like Poison or this or that. I mean, just like these kind of old rocker dudes that you're like, really? You're just like, oh, we've got, I mean, it's not even like Slash coming in. You're like, hey, Guns N' Roses Slash, I know you. This is like oh yeah, I kind of remember that guy. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. And then that's kind of, except for, we had to go up to Auburn twice this last week to do EKG and what was the other thing we had to do? We had to take a class for the knee surgery and recovery that my mom's going to be going through, and so we had to do all that. And yeah, that was interesting. And going Auburn, for those that don't know, it's about 45 miles away. So in the heat, no air conditioning, and
It has no air.
yeah, we don't have any. We only have like the fan and the windows open because the air conditioning we keep seeming to get it fixed and then it works for like a day or two and then goes boop. Nope. So anyway, so that's kind of my week. Let's see. All right, stop me if you've heard this one because literally I'm not sure that we did this one. This is advice from Miss Manners. My husband and I recently gave a jazz and dinner party at our NYC apartment. His 5-piece band performed a concert, Then we served a buffet dinner for people to serve themselves and then return to their chairs and tables. After dinner, an older guest, a friend of 50 years, dressed me down in front of another guest, a younger friend of 25 years, about my working too hard when I had all those women there to help me. I had two women whose main duty was to pick up dishes and glasses, wash them, and put them away fast. Excuse me. Our apartment has a modern open floor plan, which I dislike, as the kitchen is literally part of the living room. Yes, I helped my paid help get food from the oven to the counter to speed the process for the 30 guests. I didn't actually serve food or wash things. I did go around with 2 bottles of wine, topping up people's drinks, which I actually enjoy doing. My older friend's unwelcome comments irked me, but I handled it with humor, saying to my younger friend, who, like me, works in theater, "Well, the reviews are in." The following day, older friend wrote an effusive thank you. An email praising the music, the company, the food, and our apartment, and then repeating in writing her criticism of my working too hard. I think she was out of bounds. What do you think?
I think you're all a bunch of snobs, is what you are.
Well, we had little people helping us. I don't know. They probably came from Florida, shipped up from DeSantis or something. I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, it's and I love she is such a bragger too. Our New York apartment, and we had a 5-piece band to entertain my 30 guests that I had food catered in. And there's nothing wrong with the host helping out, because that appears that she actually did something more than just order food. And topping off wine is a perfect way of talking to the guests. So that's good. I mean, she said she liked it, but that's something you kind of want to do, so you get around and you get a feel for the crowd. You see what's going on, but she sounds like she's just a prude bitch.
Yeah. Well, I think that her friend is more of I do think her friend was out of line in saying something like that. If you want to send it in an email or something like that, whatever, but to do it in front of other guests really is out of line. But I don't know.
But how did she say it? Oh, girl, if you're going to have help, don't help the help. It could have been as simple as that. But the way she's talking, oh my God, slaving with the slaves is not appropriate for the master of the house.
In rich white woman talk, that is basically what she said.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think she kind of felt that way too, even though she's trying not to. Well, I had to jump in because they just weren't getting it done fast enough.
Well, and that to me is indicative of somebody who's kind of a control freak, because you have people that can handle it, but at the same time, you're getting it out faster, you're helping, you're the host. It's your job to make sure that things are running smoothly. There's nothing wrong with what she did, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Anyway, let's see. Miss Manner says, gentle reader, that your friend is not helpful. She asked what you think. That your friend is not helpful. You and Miss Manners both know what she was really saying is that there is something déclassé about being considerate of the help. Should she repeat this unpleasant performance, you could thank her for her concern and say how kind of her it would be to lend you a hand next time if you want to invite her next time. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's the whitest thing I read in a long time. All right, moving on. Hey, Chubs. Timothy asks, what style is the inside of your house decorated in? eclectic, whatever I could find and afford.
Yeah, mine is
Modern theater.
well, yeah, I've got all the theater posters from Broadway, the sign stuff up on the walls, and then the walls themselves are orange. I like having the orange walls. Actually, it was the one color that we both agreed on.
Hmm.
Sean's mother hates it, but we like it. And yeah, it's just kind of boy comfort here. You know, it's nothing special. Gay boy comfort, I should say.
Mhm.
I have a collection of gargoyles and Santa Clauses. So
Yes.
so and then the kitchen, I just like to it's not it's modern. I don't
Yeah.
know. Nothing
Yeah,
special.
we have a lot of like Buddhist type elephants, more, I guess, kind of Eastern things like that. And then well, I have my new Harry Styles framed poster where he's laying nude on a coming out of a big heart. Yeah,
Can you see Wiener?
no, unfortunately that part's covered, but I don't know. I think he's really neat, but his hair, girl. Anyway, moving on. Hey Chubs, Timothy asks, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
I mean, that's a hard one
Yeah.
because some are scary for different reasons.
Hmm.
But I can tell you there was a movie called what was it called? It's from the 60s. Oh, that's another scary one from the 60s. Scary movies from the 60s are scarier to me because
Mhm.
they had to rely on
I'm fucking you.
well, yes, but they didn't have CGI and special effects that they a lot that they could deal with. And I'm trying to remember, it was Audrey Hepburn, and she is a blind woman who lives in this apartment, I think a New York apartment, as a matter of fact. And what happens is that her husband has been doing something illegal, and 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 I think he's probably dead at this point. And the bad guys are coming to the apartment to find what they're looking for in the apartment. And this his wife, this or girlfriend, this blind woman is there, and she's slowly has to figure out these guys are bad and something awful is going to happen. And there's a scene at the end that I actually ran out of the theater screaming.
Huh?
I was young. I was very young. I was a young teenager, but I ran out of well, I probably wasn't even a teenager yet. I
Uh,
was probably like 11 or 12, and it was terrifying to me.
hmm.
And then there was and I'll look up the name of that after I'm done. I'm sure some people out there already know it. There was one from the 60s, 1960, called the Innocents, and that was the Turn of the Screw movie. That's the book it's based on, and it's about this nanny that comes to stay and take care of these two kids. But the last nanny that was there went insane and killed herself after her lover, the gardener, was killed, and so their
Sounds
spirits
familiar.
can be seen around the house. And I was terrified of that movie for years. And because you can run, Jason can run around, and smiley face, spook face, whatever his name is, Michael Myers, but they're all pretty, they're running around with a knife.
Hmm.
And this was, you didn't know what was going to happen or when things were, and that's what really scares me. You remember the movie Black Christmas? That was where, this is the original one from Canada, where it was a group of girls in a sorority house. It was right before Christmas. There's a killer in the attic, and he's taking out the girls, and one by one, and they all think that they've just gone home for Christmas. They left without saying goodbye. Oh, okay. And it's the movie that that they say the call's coming from inside the house.
Oh, okay.
And it was what's her name? The Livia Hussey. She had the long hair, kind of like Crystal Gale long hair down to her ass. And at one point, they go, the call's coming from in the house, and she's like, "Uh-oh!" And she hangs, she drops the phone and starts running, and she starts heading down the stairs. And as she gets off, I think she's just getting off the stairs, and the guy comes behind her and grabs her hair, and
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
her knees buckle. I was terrified in that one too. But there's another one that did not have to rely on special effects. It was scary because it was a shock. Kind of like when Kevin Bacon got killed in the first Friday the 13th and the arrow came from underneath the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of surprises, those are kind of fun. But then scary movies have just generally gotten less scary.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know whether it's just we get older and more used to it because we've seen more of them, or
True.
they're
Yeah.
just not as innovative as they used to be because we've seen it. We've seen all that.
Right.
There was a couple movies that got me. One, the first, I think I was 17 when I watched the first the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, and that was like my first horror movie. So starting out with the mother of them all, and that
Yeah.
was like freaky as fuck. And then there was, oh, what was the other one? There was another one that was like really scary that just left my mind. Scary for me anyway. Um, but The Exorcist. That was another one that scared the piss out of me when I was young and impressionable. But I think one of the ones that has stuck with me the longest was, again, one of the ones where you didn't see anything. And that was, I think, the original House on Haunted Hill, um,
Yeah.
where
I know.
she's like called to the house and the house talks to her and all this stuff. I mean, and when they had the way that like the lesbians were in the room on the bed and the walls were like making noise and kind of bowing in and out and stuff like that. That's just, and I mean, I'd seen horror movies by that point, but that it was all like one big creepy mind fuck, and I was just waiting for the thing to jump out, and it never did. And which is one of the reasons that the remake was so horrible, is because they showed everything, to whereas in the other one they didn't show shit, but it was still scary as hell. So,
Yeah. The movie with the blind woman was Wait Until Dark.
oh, okay, I remember the title of it. I don't think I saw it, but that other one with the kids sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, that one has been remade over and over again. So that may have been where you saw it. And the fun part about the Wait Until Dark was Alan Arkin, the brilliant Alan Arkin that just died last week.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy.
Mm.
And he plays a great good guy. So it was really something seeing him the bad guy.
But all those old movies, like, I mean, Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, and things like that, they all just worked their way into your mind and got you scaring yourself. Anyway.
Well, like I said, it's a lot of the I hate being mean to the horror film directors of today, but they're kind of lazy with what they do.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I mean, I love them. I love the show. I love a good horror film, but I love a good horror film. Make one.
Mm.
Because Megan was a horror movie, but it was not. I didn't think of it as much of a horror movie as I thought of it as a kind of a campy, um, campy horror film, I guess. More, it's horror only because of the situation, but it didn't feel as horror. I could have seen her do more.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said number 2 is going to be so much better than number 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get that. Where are we? There we are. Okay. All right. So what's in your lunchbox? Well, we had a few people write in. We had somebody who wrote in who has not written in for what's in your lunchbox for quite some time.
I know, I saw that.
So, wow. And the only thing that I was told was shrimp Alfredo brisket tacos. So that is the first one here. And those tacos look amazing. I really want those tacos. If I had shredded cheese, I might make tacos tonight just because those are so wonderful, although I don't have the rest of the stuff either. But, you know. And the Alfredo looks nice. I mean, the shrimp on it looks nice. Looks well cooked. So, and then there is a second photo that was not described, at least from what I saw. So we'll have to guess. Obviously, that's a beer. The beer looks wonderful.
Sure,
It's
sure.
tasty. It looks like some well, is that a BLT?
It's a BLT.
Okay, and those fries look amazing with a
Yep.
side of mayo. Love the side of mayo. Gotta use those for the fries. Are those some sort of tater tots?
See, I was thinking tater tots, but would you get tater tots and fries?
Huh. Well, I guess if you're really into it, but there's a dip for it too.
Yeah. Well, which
So,
that's not a problem, but and they look longer than tater tots, so I
yeah,
don't. They could be
sort
something that's like it could be zucchini that's in smaller pieces like that.
there you go. Yeah,
But then you've got the meat over here, and that looks like I'm thinking maybe burnt ends.
I
And
guess. I
and
don't know. I don't know. I just know that it is obviously I not even obviously it looks like beef, little beef
chunks.
appetizers,
Well,
something.
that's why I thought maybe burnt ends because those are on at the tips of the ribs.
Uh-huh.
You cut those off the tips and you cook those, and you usually don't get a whole lot of meat on them, but they're very tasty.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
that,
so and this of course was sent in by Miss Bacon. Thank you so much, Miss Bacon. We loved getting stuff from you. And of course now she is officially entered into the year-end contest.
no, not year end, Halloween.
Well, Halloween, yes, but if we have a year-end contest, I'll just automatically put her in that one too, because it's Bacon. She's just,
No,
fun
no,
show.
she needs to be more. She can't leave us hanging, and once a year she throws one out at us. We need her all the time.
Oh, I know in spirit she's there for us all the time, just like well, spiritual figures and Santa. Bacon claws. All right. Mr. Moose also wrote in. He said, was rummaging through the refrigerator and spotted the remains of a quart of buttermilk. Bought it 2 weeks ago for a recipe and didn't use it at all. I saw that it expires tomorrow and I'm not one to waste food. By the way, how does one know if buttermilk has turned? It already smells like ass. Oh, girl, if your ass smells like buttermilk, I don't know. You might need a douche. I don't know. Anyway, I was racking my brain thinking of a way to use it. Fried chicken strips came to my, oh yes, it did. I soaked chicken in buttermilk before frying, makes the meat tender, and the breading stick. So I got 3 pounds of chicken breast and soaked it in the buttermilk. The breading was flour, panko bread, crumbs, and spices. Deep fried them in the wok. Oh, I have a wok now too. Thank you, Mr. Dave, for that. And we've got pictured here are chicken strips, fried apples, mashed potatoes, and some ranch dressing to dip the strips in. Have a great week, gentlemen. And at first I was like, really? He only sent one picture this week, but that was worth it. It was so worth it.
Well, it's funny because there was a special on chicken legs over at Foods Co. this week.
Oh,
99 cents a pound for chicken legs.
really?
So we picked up two things of them that left us with, I want to say 16 or no 20 chicken legs. So we froze a bunch of them, and I'm thinking we should have oh wait, no, there were 12 in each, so it was 24. And I'm thinking, I don't really cook chicken legs. So they turned out nice, they were good. But I'm thinking I want to do some buttermilk with them the next time, just to give them more, because you can also season the buttermilk, which will help season the chicken. Because the chicken was really seasoned nicely on the outside,
Yeah.
but we didn't give enough time to let it soak into the meat, and I know that the buttermilk does that. So
That's interesting. I never really thought about doing that. My mom really likes when I get some legs like that and I just put them in the oven and bake them.
sure.
She loves that, but I think she'd love this more. So might have to try that. Try to be all industrious. So thank you so much, Mr. Moose, for sharing that. You've inspired us. Jackie sent in a photo that just said taco night. And I think this is very interesting because she's got everything lined up. She's got her guac. She's got her red, probably salsa.
Oh, it's
Got her
ketchup.
sour cream.
It's ketchup, and that's ranch. Oh, that may be sour.
Ketchup. No, I don't think that's
For the
ketchup.
tater tots.
I still think that's salsa. It's a little chunky.
Okay.
But it is for her tacos, and since
You're right.
I
You're right.
believe-
If it's ketchup, it's gone bad.
Okay. But since it is, she's oh no, there's some meat in there. That's got to be meat. So, but
Yeah, there's ground beef in one of the tacos. And I think it's interesting that she's got one soft shell and one hard shell.
yeah, and it looks like she's got some cheese or something coming out of the hard
Oh,
shell. But
oh
the
yeah.
thing,
I wonder if
the
that's like
thing-
a queso one.
yeah, maybe. But the thing that got me was the tater tots. And I thought, you know what? For somebody that is like a vegetarian or something, tater tot taco, that might work.
Yeah.
Get them real crispy. But oh, and then she's got some sangria sensorial. I don't know. It's something sangria. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for sending that in. And now it's time to remind you that Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective when preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. Find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. Find my books at justkisstheguy.com. Find all our links at allmylinks.com/ChubsGoneWild. And you can give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Don't forget, you can also look us up on Threads, the latest social app. We are over there and having fun. It's not under Chubs Gone Wild, though. It's under just our regular names. I haven't figured out the other thing yet.
I know it's kind of confusing. Yeah, so
It
I
is.
think they probably just put on a very simple version first, and then it'll get more complicated.
Yeah, because with Instagram, I manage about 4 different Instagram accounts, and I can just have them all linked to the same thing and just go through it. But in Threads, I can't even get it to pop up a business one. So anyway, so we love you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.